Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to my life in Taiwan. For any new subscribers, my name is Alan, and this channel focuses on my interesting life here as a foreigner, living and working primarily as a teacher, but also occasionally making somewhat interesting YouTube videos. And today I've been joined at my super magic desk by a guest. Not often you get to see me sharing this desk with anybody, so I'm going to let him introduce himself first, and then I'll tell you what all of these products are about. Go for it.
My name is Sean. Like Alan, I'm originally from the UK. I have been living in Taiwan, actually just last week. It was 14 years living here. I've done a lot of different things here. I've been a teacher, I've worked in different Taiwanese businesses, done sales, marketing, I've done various different projects. Yeah. Maybe some people, for the Taiwanese viewers out there, you may have seen a project I started in 2012 called I Love Taiwan. Oh, really? Where it was like this, it was like, I love Taiwan.
Now, this channel usually tends to focus on the positive aspects of living in Taiwan. Nobody wants to hear a moaning, whinging YouTuber all the time.
No.
But it's important sometimes to face reality, face the facts. And today, as you've probably inferred from the title, this video is all about Taiwan's and Taichung's air quality.
Oh yes.
So what would you, give me one adjective to describe Taiwan's air quality?
You can take the word air, and then you can take the word apocalypse, and you put it together and you get airpocalypse.
Okay, yeah, so Sean is very much of the opinion, well, I think it's not much an opinion, it's a fact that the air quality here is pretty bad, and Sean is one of the guys trying his best to do something about it. So first of all, have you got any sort of, I usually do some research on a topic before I make a video about it, but today, because I've invited you, I did almost no research. I'm going to let you...
I am the research.
You are the research.
There have been air pollution problems in many of the countries. In America, there was huge problems in the 70s, and they passed like the Clean Air Act.
Yeah.
And this problem isn't something that's new. It's not like in Taiwan you can say, oh, Taiwan is only experiencing this, and what do we do? And we've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
Other countries have seen it, and they've managed to fix the problem, so maybe we can just look at what other countries do and try to copy those ideas.
Okay.
If you want to see.
So what about the cities within Taiwan? Which ones are the sort of the cleaner cities, so to speak, and which ones are the worst problematic areas?
Most of the problem is on like the west coast. Traditionally it's been sort of Taipei was the cleanest, then you would say like Taichung was the second cleanest, and then like the Kaohsiung is the third. Mainly that's just to do with the wind coming down, and also Taichung is kind of like in a bowl, so that definitely affects some of the problem.
Is there anything we can look at quantitatively that will put Taiwan in a ranking?
If you're looking at this, it's like the Climate Change Performance Index, and what they do is they rank countries based on like their emissions levels, the development of the emissions, the renewable energies, like and the policies toward it, the efficiency of what they're doing.
Okay.
And then the last one is like on their policy towards climate change. If we were to take, for example, like we're from the UK, and then the UK is like basically it's number 6, which is pretty high up.
Okay,
Some countries like Canada and Australia like really far to the bottom, and that's mainly to do with like Canada has like the oil sands, and maybe if you look at Canada's climate policy, or you look at Canada's emissions and things from different things, that would definitely affect it.
So it's not just a score of the air quality, it's how the government is dealing with it.
Yeah. Taiwan is actually above Australia and Canada overall, but I mean Taiwan is still very low. It's like number 52.
Okay.
So there's probably some improvements can be made there.
Is this a problem that we've just got to live with, or are there things that people or the government need to do to stop this getting worse?
I've been looking at this for the last 2.5 or more years, and I've even spoken to like government officials. Yeah. And what I find is that everybody in Taiwan, if you talk about air quality, they will say, yeah, the air's bad in Taiwan. Everyone can kind of agree with that. But then, much beyond that, people don't really know a lot about the reasons why.
Well, what are the main contributors? Is it the scooters? Is it cars? Is it the factories? Like,
one is definitely cars, vehicles, stuff like that. The other is we have one of the world's largest coal-burning power plants. That's a big contributor. And what they said is the emissions from cars and vehicles it's about the same as the emissions that come out of the coal plants.
Okay.
One thing that they had discovered recently is because Taiwan has a lot of ships in the shipping lane in the Taiwan Strait, there's a huge number of ships there. There's a map, you can actually see where they all are on.
Yeah.
And they said that the total amount of emissions coming from all of those ships is about the same as one of the power plants.
Got it, yeah.
So you've got a few different things, and then the big myth I think that people always say is you go, the pollution's all from China.
Okay.
It's like, it isn't.
Yeah.
Some of it comes from outside of Taiwan.
Okay.
It blows down from the Gobi Desert, it blows through China.
Yeah.
And statistics show about 20 to 30% come from outside of Taiwan.
Okay.
One last thing that they also said is there's a lot that come from local industry, there are different factories.
Yeah.
And some of those factories, they have boilers that aren't regulated, and they burn coal and they burn different things, putting it into the atmosphere.
The problem is always going to be there in some regard. There's always going to have air pollution.
Yeah, like
in the modern world.
The government is making they've made some policies to like change things. The total amount of electricity that was created through renewable energy was about 4% of the total amount. Obviously, we all want electricity. I mean, we need electricity that runs our life.
Yeah.
But how do you create it? And the big argument came from, do we do coal or do we do nuclear? I think there was a lot of misinformation about what nuclear power could provide to Taiwan. Yeah. There was a lot of fear, and of course it's fear. I mean, if something like what happened in Japan happened in Taiwan,
which is very possible.
It would be. It would be terrible, but there are different levels of like nuclear power station.
Okay. So I'm going to give you the big $1 million question. If you were in the hot seat, if you were president or the environmental minister, what would be your solution? What would you do?
I would certainly look at what the options for supplementing some of the power with perhaps a low grade, the safest option possible for nuclear power.
Yeah.
And then we could. You can definitely do a good geological study of Taiwan. You can find out where the best place is to put it.
Well, they do have, right? In Kenting, I know there's a nuclear factory down there.
Yes.
Is there one in Taipei?
I go scuba diving right next to it.
Oh, really? Okay, so there are sort of long-term solutions, but what I'm trying to get to is the short-term solutions of how we can protect ourselves. Because I don't know if you can hear, I'm actually deathly sick at the moment. I've got a chest infection. Just getting back from England, and so yeah, I'm a little bit sick. Is that something that happens more often to people in Taiwan, do you think?
It is. The majority of the problem in Taiwan is PM 2.5. That comes from unburnt hydrocarbons.
Okay.
So stuff that comes out of the back of cars and diesel trucks, stuff that comes out of the power plants, stuff that comes out of industry. It's like if you take a human hair, and then a PM 2.5 particle is 25 times smaller than a human hair.
Okay.
And then when you're breathing in, usually people will get like, a runny nose or like, get sneezing and coughing and itching. Those are larger particles, bigger than like 5 to 10.
Okay.
They're getting caught by your throat and they're irritating your throat.
But the 2.5?
The 2.5 doesn't get caught by your nose, that goes into your lungs and it sticks there and it never comes out.
Right, nice.
So, lovely.
Well, I'm going to come quickly to this piece of kit, which is, what's this called? This is a laser egg?
It's called a laser egg.
And at the moment, it's reading, can you see that? Is that...
yeah, it's like
117, and it's saying unhealthy for sensitive groups, so I'm guessing that's not good, unhealthy.
On this piece of paper here, so you just said there was like 117, so that's like the orange, which would be an orange flag.
Yeah.
And then if it goes above that, it's a red flag and a purple flag. If it's red or purple, kids are not supposed to play outside.
Oh, really? And does that happen often in Taiwan?
Oh yeah, like recently we had that really terrible spell, and it was, most of the days it was on the number range, it was red, but it was 180 to 200.
Wow, okay.
It was terrible.
And do the schools implement that? Do they actually stop the kids playing, or...?
Some of them do, yes, and some of them don't.
If somebody wants to get one of these, where can they get this from?
Oh, you can get it from my website. It's called Origins Air.
Origins Air?
Give you the...
I'll put a link.
Yeah, put a link in the bottom there.
Okay, so if I was to take this inside my house, would it read lower?
It reads exactly where you are. So if you are looking at, like, if you've got your phone, there's lots of apps, you can see the data on there. The data comes from the government, and a lot of people say, oh, the government's lying to you. It's like, they're not lying.
Yeah.
It's just the way that they report the data.
So when people say the government are lying, they think that the government's giving lower readings?
Yes.
Ah, okay, but what they're doing is, like you said, taking an average.
Yeah, they take like an average and then they report the average and it updates every hour. So it's not really reflective of real time, it's just an average.
Okay.
The common misconception that I've seen is people go, it's bad outside, I'll stay at home. If you close the window or turn on the AC, it doesn't make any difference.
Right,
They don't filter the air.
Okay.
So you'd have to have a dedicated cleaner.
Okay.
But if you turn on a cleaner, you don't know how well the cleaner's working.
Yeah.
So that's what this is for. This will tell you, is it safe to open the window?
Yeah.
You know, how's the air inside your house? How's your air purifier working?
So I check my laser egg at home, and it gives me like a poor reading, what, like 130, 140, and I've got to drive my scooter to work.
Yep.
What am I going to wear? Am I going to wear one of these masks?
Okay, so most people you'll see in Taiwan is like they'll be riding a scooter, and I'm going to put this on for
Okay,
effect. Yeah. So they will put on this mask like this.
Yeah. Totally normal for us, by the way, but I'm sure if you're watching from the UK, you'll think, what the hell is he doing? Is he going to do some surgery?
Now, these masks are great if you are sick. Stop the transmission of germs. Basically, the air takes the path of least resistance, and the air just goes straight in here and straight down your nose.
Useless.
It's pointless. Like,
okay. Common sense, really. If it's not airtight, it's going to let air into your lungs.
Yeah.
So what have we got here? What's this thing? Is this like
So this is
something you would wear?
This is my own personal mask that I've been wearing for like about a year now.
Yeah.
The mask has got like a really good filter here.
Yeah.
So it's got this will filter out all of the nasty PM 2.5, even much smaller than that. One filter lasts about 69 hours, they say.
Yeah.
Take off my glasses. So you stick it over your face, and then you tie it behind your neck like this with Velcro. And you can see here, there's no gaps.
Yeah.
And the filter sticks against your face, and you will get rid of all of the nasty smells while you're driving, as well as all of the things. And you look like a terrorist.
I was going to say, yeah, if you were to wear this in England, you'd probably invoke a little bit of fear in the local population.
I want to take this off. So here. A lot of cyclists in London wear these.
That's true. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Like, let's if we just to sum up, basically what we've been talking about, the air in Taiwan, pretty bad, and there are things that can be done. Public transport, especially renewable energy.
Yes.
Nuclear power, maybe. I know that's a hot topic.
Yep.
But I'm going to invite the subscribers, people watching, in the comment section down below. Write, what do you think? What's your opinion? What do you do every day? Do you wear one of these masks? Do you care about it? Is it something you ignore? Whatever you want to say, put your comments in the comment section down below. And me and Sean will join in the discussion. Do you have a YouTube account?
I do.
Yep. So Sean will be there, commenting, replying to any of your questions.
Yep.
All in the description below. All of the details of the projects and things that Sean is doing around the air quality here in Taichung. But I think that's pretty much it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. As I mentioned earlier, usually lots more positivity on my channel. And I think this is actually a positive thing that we can say that a foreigner is doing here, trying to bring awareness to the problem and help people deal with it. So I'm going to say goodbye now. Don't forget to like, share the video, subscribe. Let's get to 100k as soon as possible. I've not forgotten about that challenge. It's just taken a bit longer than I expected. So yes, I'll see you next time in my life in Taiwan. Peace.